Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome back to the stream. It is I, Digi Driver. Welcome to your Sunday, November 13th, 2022, where we are checking in Wichita, Kansas in X-Plane 12. Welcome aboard, everybody. Bear with me while I adjust my sound levels. Looks like the sim volume's a little high. Let's see, where is that? 9 out of 24? No, 9 out of 20. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. All right, folks, welcome aboard. We are going to be flying in X-Plane 12. I'm going to be breaking out the X-Craft's ERJ-135 again, and we're going to do a regional flight from Wichita to Rapid City. Rapid City is fast becoming one of my favorite destinations in the sim, and you'll probably see why in just a bit. But let's get inside the plane and start getting ready for our departure. We are inside the cabin of a well-used ERJ-135. And I've flown this plane a few times before, but there's plenty of things that I can do better. So let's see if we can do this flight a little bit better. Now, I should have, there we go, there's my ground ops. Let's go ahead and connect a generator to it. Put some safety cones. Engines are running? That's weird. The engines should be running at all. Let me check outside. Well, the covers aren't on, but the engines aren't running. I'm pretty sure it just means that this plane is in a startup state already. Yeah, it seems a little strange. That's okay. No biggie. Welcome, everybody. Let's see if we can get this plane started now that we have the generator hooked up. And we're going to open up our luggage and main entrances. We're also going to go ahead and turn on battery power. So I should be able to do auto for battery 1 and 2.
Okay.
We'll connect the GPU. And yeah, avionics already on. This aircraft has nice cabin sounds. I like it a lot. And even though it's a workload, it's a pretty fun plane to fly once you kind of get the hang of it. I've got a few hours under my belt, so let's go ahead and get started. We just turned on the batteries, we just connected the GPU. Avionics is running already. I'll put my panel lights all the way up, and I'll make sure that the emergency lights are armed. Generators I usually leave alone. I think usually if something's turned off, that means it's already active or ready to go. And I don't know if this applies to the X-Craft's planes like it applied to the Field Air Embraers, but in general, I think X-Crafts made this plane so that some of the options clicked in were almost ready to fly. I mean, no reason to turn the fuel pumps on if we don't have the fuel just yet, which reminds me, I need to adjust my numbers to make sure we have enough fuel for this flight. I don't think this plane has a system by which you can add fuel manually, so I'm going to break immersion for just a moment. And I was going to fly on VATSIM, but unfortunately it looks like I'm having trouble accessing the gateway, so I can't file an X-Plane flight in this like I could if I was flying MSFS. We do have a roughly 1.5 hour flight ahead of us, probably 2 hours block time, and we're going to be taking 11,300 pounds of fuel. So let's go ahead and set that up right now. Go to configuration, go to customize. Where is my weight balance and fuel? We're taking 11,300. So let's see, how much fuel? Oh, I see. Yeah, so I guess that's maxed out. And what's my payload weight? Well, payload weight is going to be 6,900 pounds. Let's drop that in. And wow, we're almost fully fueled. I'm sorry, fully loaded. This is a almost totally full commuter flight. We've got 30 of 37 passengers, 37 passenger seats filled. And they, whoa, ground de-icing? That's interesting. Is that provided by the sim? Because that's kind of cool. Okay, so we've got the plane loaded, but I'm going to go through the startup flows and things like I normally do.
All large portable electronic devices turned off, unplugged, and stowed at this time.
Also, it looks like my reversers are on. Oh, hold on. There we go. Just put those away. And why aren't my lights on? Logo light on. It is a Digi flight after all. And we'll turn fasten seatbelt and no smoking signs on. We're not stereo cockpit just yet, and I think that should be everything I need to do right now. In terms of power plant, we'll leave this the way it is. APU control. I could probably test fire. I think we're good. And I'll probably turn on my electric pumps now, since I don't plan on spending too much time on the ground. I believe you need to turn on window heat, though. Let me see. So let's turn on the window heats, and anti-ice won't be required just yet. We won't turn on the pitos until after we start the engines, and I believe I can turn on the packs. At least I think that's how it works. I always get the lights confused, but we'll see. That should be everything I need to do up top. And we'll take a look real quick at these displays. Panel lights all the way up. We are flying real time, so it's going to be bright out there. And that's it. We'll get some flood lighting in there as well. And now I believe we should be able to get started. For today's flight, we're flying out of Wichita and arriving at Rapid City, and the METAR for Wichita says the altimeter is 3014. Where's my barrow? Right here. 3014. Seen twice. So, 3014 it is. Radio altimeter is currently set at 200. If the weather's good in Rapid City, we probably won't need to use barrow, so we can probably leave that set, which it looks like what it is. And what else can I set real quick? Oh, well, let's give ourselves a TCAS code. Stand by. .2257 is my squawk. We're on standby right now, and that should be everything I need, unless I know a way to increase the range or decrease it. What was the rangefinder on this? Oh, right there. And I think I can probably turn flight directors on now, turn my yaw damper on just so I don't forget. And what else am I missing? Not much. Let's get underway and start going through our usual flows. So we will do this just as if we were looking at these screens. Alright, FMS data is initialized. I should now have most recent FMS data because I didn't have it before. I think I was missing the GNS 430 folder from my X-Plane 12 custom data for Navigraph. Now we should be okay. And for today's flight, we're going to be cruising at flight level 320. An excellent test of whether or not I can actually pressurize this plane properly. And I don't know why this isn't working. That's a little weird. Hold on. This is because it's in front of something else. That's odd. I can't use the built-in keyboard. Oh well. Okay, so status, yes. That is the correct AirAct cycle, at least for right now. So, for departure, we're going to be leaving Wichita, mid-continent. And what runway are we using today? We're using runway 19er left. So, 19er left. And SID, I do not believe we have a SID, so no SIDs available. And there we go. AICT. Arrival, we're going to be entering... Oh, this could be a problem. I wonder if it's because since I updated to the absolute latest version of the beta, the screens broke. So we're going to do the best we can here. Invalid airport entry. I understand. But yeah, you're not letting me select anything. I can't seem to click any of the buttons on the physical display here either. I don't know if it's because I have the screen open. Yeah, no, that's interesting. It's okay. It's okay. We're going to ignore this. We're going to do the best we can because otherwise I'm going to try to spend a lot of time troubleshooting this and I don't want to. So, since I have to plot the autopilot on this anyway, I'm going to start here. Status again, we are in the correct AirAct cycle, at least it looks it. And let's get to the route page, or flight plan. So, we're flying AICT to Kilo Romeo Alpha Papa, and we are going to be flight number American 197, and there we are. If we execute, we can go to the departure page. There is no departing SID. We're going to depart 19er left, and then that's that. Go to route menu, and then go to the page. So, from here, there's literally 2 waypoints that I'm going to put bunching in. Kyler and Romeo Alpha Papa. And then once we get to Romeo Alpha Papa, we are going to set up for our arrival at Rapid City. We're using runway 32, and we take vectors as our transition. And what that means is we depart 19er left, we go to Kyler, Romeo Alpha Papa, and then we go to Helta, Yavuk, runway 32, and we land. Otherwise, we'll go back to Helta and hold if we miss it. Alright, I don't know what the winds are at Helta. I might have to figure out how to do that in the future, but it is what it is. And we actually do have a progress page that works now, and we can even put in holds. I don't know how to do that, so I might do that at one point. I might even test that during flight today. But that's it. We have our flight plan set. I wish this worked properly, because otherwise I'd fill in the rest of the information. Yeah, none of these buttons work. I think the system is borked. Borked. System resets complete. I don't know how to get rid of that. I can't type in numbers. So, no. This is, unless I can pop it out maybe? No, it's not working at all. So, that's fine. We have the flight plan set. Unfortunately, it also looks like I reset everything, so I gotta punch it back in. TBNR Batman, hello my friend, good to see you. I hope you're having a very good day today. We are getting ready to fly from Wichita to Rapid City in the X-Crafts Embraer ERJ-135, but unfortunately, the plane specific, the aircraft specific FMS or system, I guess electronic flight bag, doesn't want to work in this version. And I think it's because I just finished updating to beta 12, and I don't think X-Crafts caught up with that just yet. It's okay though, I'll just do what I can. So back to departure again. We'll take 19er left, and then we will go back to the flight plan page, put in Kyler, then put in Romeo Alpha Papa, save that, go to the approach, no start to use on the way in. We're going to be landing ILS 32, vectors to Helta, and that's it. The only thing I'm missing is probably punching in the nav or the airport. So let me see if I can actually use my charts or Navigraph to do that. You went online at Geneva. Very nice. Congratulations, friend. That is one thing that I haven't done nearly as much of as I could and probably should be doing. It's flying in Europe. Important moment. Okay, not now. Why am I using a different browser for this? That's a little weird. There we go. Beautiful. I was having difficulty using the new charts for Navigraph, and also my sim link was not correctly set for X-Plane 12. Now, both of them are in. We're good. And I'm going to take a look at the charts for Rapid City. No, I'm sorry, the charts for Wichita. And we can take a look at it quickly. We'll do 19er left, which means I'm going to be pushing into the non-movement area, so to speak, and then probably following Alpha 8 to November, and then Alpha 1. I was just taking a look at the chart. We are at 1,333 feet right now, and I think that's all I need to know. Oh, I know why. I was looking for charts. I wanted to actually find charts for Rapid City, so open charts, please. If we're going to land on runway 32, we're going to need to put in the ILS frequency and course heading. ILS frequency for India Romeo Alpha Papa is 109.3. So 109.3. Course setting is going to be 324. 324. Okay. So 324 it is. We have the course set. We have the ILS set, and that should be it. When we get to the ILS beam, we're going to be at, or want to be at 5,000 feet for our descent. When we land at Rapid City, we're going to be landing at an altitude of 3,204 feet. So I might put that on above or on the center console below. Let me see. Do we have a landing altitude? No, that's pressurization. We auto pressurize. Do I need to set this value? I often get into trouble with this, so I don't know. Max elevation. Since this plane doesn't seem to have an altitude requirement, we're going to see what happens. However, I'm of the perception that if we're going to have any kind of max altitude set, it's probably going to be our cruise altitude. So I'm going to set it to 32,000 feet, and that's probably going to give me what I need to stay pressurized. And that's it. So that should probably do it. Let's see, anything to press down here while I'm taking care of business? Not that I'm aware of. Are my flaps set already? They were set. Let's set the flaps for 18 for takeoff. Oh, probably 9 should be fine. And what else do I need? We don't have the throttle detents locked, so think we can transition to the next phase. And wait, are my doors closed? They are closed. And that should be that. So let's get the APU started right away so we don't lose more battery. We'll do APU control on. Pump selectors for 1B and I think 2B. And then I think 3A. Oh no, I was thinking about 3A for the Embraer 175 and 170. That's fine. We have pumps 1B and 2B on. Pump power is on. We should now be able to start up the APU without too much trouble. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds. Let it go. There we are. There's the APU. And if I take a look down here, APU's giving me voltage. Hydraulics are looking good. Fuel, we've got 11,300 pounds. We'll burn through some of that while we're getting set. Cabin temperature is 20, so I think it's already configured to be nice and cool. And engine takeoff mode is not set. Anti-ice is off. We'll turn on the pitos once we actually get set to go. And we'll use the default pushback because I haven't installed better pushback yet. The default pushback is just like no pomp and circumstance, just pushes you and you're done. So I think we're good for now. And yeah, we're back in map mode. And that should be it. Let's go ahead and set ourselves up to TARA, and that way I don't forget. I'll also set my flight plan to, what was it, 37? No, 32,000 feet. Thank you. Thank you. And airspeed, we will... Can we set that to just be what the FMS says? I mean, I'm going to be managing my speed manually anyway, so I guess I could put 250 just as a sanity check. I wish I knew what my takeoff speeds were, but I'm going to go with the adage that it's going to be an extremely heavily loaded plane, so I'm going to understand there's going to be lots of runway I'm going to be consuming. Speaking of which, what is my wiggle room for this airport? 19er left is 7,302 feet long, so we should have enough to rotate even with a fully loaded Embraer. I think we should be fine. We'll just set up for flaps 9 and then just go till about 150, 160 knots, pull back on the stick gently, unless of course the system already has me set to go. And for pitch, I'm probably going to set pitch trim of 3, and we'll see what happens. So we have the ILS frequency set. We have the flight directors and yard dampers on. Our flight plan or our legs are here. And what am I missing? There we go, there's the legs page. Oh, right. We're gonna have a discontinuity when we get to Rapid City. And that's okay. Okay. I think that's all I need at this point. Alright, let's get this thing pushed back. Unless, of course, I can't. That's alright. So I can't push back. That's fine. We'll reverse our way out of here if we can. Okay. So, if we're not getting pushed back, then we need to turn the engines on ourselves. APU gens are running right now. Let's go ahead and configure the aircraft to get started. So I think the starters are up here, and that would be correct. Let's get the beacon light on because I forgot to. Oops. Nav lights are also on too. And stereo light is on. And that's it. I don't need the wing inspection lights right now. We'll turn on engine number 2 first. Actually, I need to turn my packs off before I do that. Or were they on? They were on. Alright, so what does that mean? That means that my APU bleed needs to be on, and so do my engine bleeds. Try again. Let me see. Nope. On means they're on. And I guess those need to be extinguished. I don't think there's been a time I've tried starting this plane where I haven't borked it up once. Oh, I know why. It's because they haven't quite worked out the kinks in this plane yet. I do think you actually need to do a control shift E to start it. Yeah, unfortunately. Yep, and that starts up one engine, and then you can get the other engine started. And looks like the APU is also running. I think. I can't quite tell from the exhaust. Emergency light's not armed. I think that reset my lights. Emergency lights are armed. Make sure all my things are where they're supposed to go. Ignition to auto. Yeah, that's a little weird. No overhead lighting. Stereo lights on. And I think that means that my window heat's armed. We'll arm the pitot. And yep, like I said, always confusing. We'll reset our cruise altitude. And I think we should be ready to go now. Yes, Hawker, I'm flying the ERJ-135 in X-Plane. Hope you're having a very good afternoon, my friend. Welcome aboard. Now, the plane's complaining because we have no takeoff data, and I couldn't actually press any buttons to type in the takeoff data I wanted. Because it's not taking my inputs for some reason. So, we have to work with what we have. We have a flight plan set, it's just not letting me put in data. So we're going to see that warning. So go ahead and disregard no takeoff data for the engines because we just can't do it. So we have started up the engines. We have, I think the ground taxi light is now on. And ignore this because I think this is a byproduct of the 12 beta for XP12. And yeah, doors are closed. We should be good to go. We are. You know, sometimes in life you have to work with what you're given, and we're dealing with life as the Lord allows us to. But today's been a very nice day for weather. Nice and cool out here. We got the heat going in our home, so I'm thankful for that. The simple things are sometimes the things that you don't pay attention to that you really should be grateful for. And I'm trying my best to not forget that. So now that we have this plane started up, let's see if we can actually push back. I'm going to try a very cautious reverse, and we're going to see if we can actually pull this off. Give me a bit, folks, as it appears that we may have an extra furry passenger that wants to come on board. Stand by one. Alright folks, I've returned. My cat is here. Let's go ahead and get flying. We turned the engines on, but we don't have the ability to use default pushback with this plane, so we're going to go ahead and push back ourselves. We'll activate the reversers, release the parking brakes, and just do a gentle reverse of the gate. As you can tell, it is actually working, which is an absolute trip.
Once again, welcome aboard on track. We are creating the most flyer-friendly aircraft, and it's our sincere hope that you have a pleasant experience with us today.
That's idle reverse. Okay. Reversers are now stowed.
There are 4 series marked exits. The main cabin
And that's it.
door is the engine, and exit on the right side.
Off we go to Rapid City.
And 2 window exits located at pro exit. Take a moment to locate the exit nearest you.
Flight directors, yaw damper. Altitude is 320 set. 250 is our airspeed. We'll stop real quick for flight control check. Right, so full left, this rotates slowly, full right, full forward, pull back, full left rudder, full right rudder, and that's it, should be good. We'll go TCAS to TARA, and range will set to 20 miles for now. Parking brake released, or brakes released. Not bad.
Final approach checklist complete.
Whoa! Studio Canuck. 21 months? Hey, hey, Welcome aboard, friend. Thanks for the support. That's much appreciated. Thank you so much. Folks, both Hawker125 and Studio Canuck are friends of the stream and streamers themselves. Feel free to pay them some love by going to their channels and following them. You can certainly do more, of course. I recommend watching either, and I recommend watching both, because they have been friends of the community, friends of this channel, and glad to, I'm privileged to know both of them. Okay, let's see, left on Charlie 1, down Charlie to Bravo 1 to Bravo, and then we'll just go Bravo to November. I went out the wrong way, but that's okay. Thank you, my friend. It took me a while to get this bird started up because of a XP12 issue, I believe, but we have it running. Let me also hit the ET button. I think I hit it. It's okay. Also, yeah, don't know why my... again, this is the weird thing. I don't know why my engines are off base for thrust. This happened the last time too, but now it looks to be fixed. So, that's good. Nice quick check. There we go. We can get started now. Oh wait, reversers are on already? Nope. They don't need to be. I think it's my throttle settings. Something about the throttle is still a little too warped in the system. So that's idle. That's a lot better. Okay, so I think I just discovered something. Thank you, friend. I think I just discovered something. I think you have to keep the throttle at a certain position with this aircraft. With the T-16,000 throttle quadrant, it's easy because you just click all the way back to the physical end of travel and it just goes to idle. But I also have the T-16,000 joystick as well. I bought them combined. So essentially the issue here is that with the throttle column on the joystick, if it's not where it's supposed to be, it's going to act like it's just a little bit, you know, off the ball. Also, no clue why my rudder is acting up all of a sudden. Let me check my controls real fast. I mean, I've used this default for a long time, so it's not like we have issues here. We shouldn't. Bravo. Yeah, it's about as idle as it's going to get. Let's go ahead and go this way. We should be on November now. We should be. Hey, Air Emmerich, my friend, welcome aboard. We're doing okay. We're in X-Plane 12 and we're taking the Embraer ERJ-135 out for a spin. It's not working perfectly in the sim. There are still some things that need to be addressed, but we are on the 12th beta of X-Plane 12, and folks, I gotta tell you, the sim is looking better and better every time they least in my opinion, it's at least the placebo effect is that it's getting better, even if they haven't addressed every single problem just yet. I know clouds are better in the sim now, and when we get to a point where the build is stable, I think the other manufacturers will follow suit and be like, okay, let's fix the planes now that we know they're not going to release an update for this anytime soon. So, yeah, we're doing okay. We're doing okay. Where are we on the property? We are now taxiing up November. We've got Alpha 5, Alpha 2, and Alpha 1 to go. Then about an hour and like 20-minute flight out to Rapid City. And that's going to be the X-Plane portion of the stream. I might do some things in MSFS. I don't know if I'm going to be doing a second flight today because I kind of also want to do some things as well. But you know what? We can probably talk about what's been going on with this channel for the past couple of weeks since, I mean, I might as well tell you folks, I think I've officially unretired from Twitch streaming. I've shared on other channels, so I might as well just tell you here. and yeah, it's been quite a trip figuring out what I want to do next. So, what am I going to tell you? We're almost to the point where we can start doing some pretty cool things, but it's mostly scenery development related. And you know, with regards to the whole X-Plane versus MSFS debate, the best sim is the one you want to fly and the one you have the ability to fly. Don't worry about not having X-Plane if you have MSFS and you enjoy it. Don't worry about having MSFS if you like X-Plane and X-Plane 12 is checking all your boxes. If you're satisfied with your sim, that should be all you need to know. Alright, we're flying by ourselves here, no multiplayer traffic, no model matching. We'll hit the chrono button, we'll make sure we are set for takeoff, nav, beacon. I can probably turn off this beacon light. I don't know how that works. I think it's just because you're running the engines, but we'll leave it on. Strobe is on. We don't need winning inspection lights. We're probably not going to hit too much cold weather. We have landing lights on, taxi light off, dome light we can keep off, and I think I can hit the takeoff button or configure my engines for takeoff, let go of my brakes, and off we go. I will tell you something about X-Plane 12 that I didn't notice before in X-Plane 11. The crispness of the graphics has improved, even if the rendering engine is somewhat similar to, if not the exact same engine from XP11. So I'm a fan of this for now. Alright, so can we get this to go with, please? Thank you. Let's take a look at our displays, and we're set for 32,000 feet. When we take off, we're going to be taking off, I guess, straight out, and then flying north. So we are on runway 19 left, we'll turn right, and then eventually turn right again. Oh, nice, the goose. The goose is loose. Alright, speaking of goose being loose, we've released our brakes. Let's get the engines up to about 50% if we can. Engines are stable. Rudder's wobbly. And let's go. Power set. And let's rotate. Up, up, and away. Positive brake, folks. Gear up. Just put our flaps away. Kind of a windy day. Either that or my rudders are acting up. Let's see. Are they? Yep, that's exactly what's up. Alright, standby 1. Let's fix that. Autopilot. Nav.
Landing gear, high speed.
And flight level change.
Landing gear, high speed. Landing gear, high speed. Landing gear, high speed. High speed.
Let's bring it back down. Slowly, slowly. We are climbing, so that's good. I'm using flight level change, which should give the computer the ability to increase climb rate as we get ready to go. Nav should be on already. I wonder what's causing it not to go. Oh, wait, hold on. We will do heading select. Come on. Work with me. Give me a heading of 270. Actually, 280 should be fine. Heading select. There we go. At least that works. Let's go. Screen is frozen. Oh, hold on. What's going on, Sim? Alright, let me actually, oh, that's weird. I did nothing. That's a little weird. Alright, well, doing the best we can. We will push the heading right to 300 to intercept our nav, and that should probably take care of us. Yeah, and seriously, I don't know why my rudders are as wobbly as they are. I might have to add a dead zone into them. I've never had to do that before, but we have had these joysticks for a while, so that might be the case. We are in an intercept for the magenta line, so I think we can switch over to nav at this point. And hopefully it will work. Oh. Duh. I didn't hit the FMS button. Now we should be good. No wonder that light was yellow. Okay. Yes, I'm a big fan of the ERJ's Aeroflyer. Actually, almost anything Embraer I'm happy with. But hello, welcome. Glad to have you on the stream. Yeah, I'm pleased with this. Okay, one wobbly takeoff, a couple of overspeeds, and a nav configuration later, and we are following the magenta path on our way to Rapid City. I suspect it'll probably take about an hour and a half to get there with my delays. And we are climbing to flight level 320. About to cross 10,000, so let's go ahead and turn off those lights. And yeah, there we go, just like that. We're climbing. LNAV climb, and we probably can set climb mode for our engines. A good ERJ 145. That would be nice. I think that would be very nice. I know about the virtual call E-Jets, the E175 series, and it's got its issues, but the simple fact is we have, an E175 that we can fly in the new sim. Would I like it to be better? Sure. Is it serviceable? I've flown a couple flights with it already. I even did one flight on VATSIM, so you can use the FMC in that. It works. Alright, we're hooking up with the Bonanza line, which means we're going to be on our way to Kyler shortly. Beautiful. So skies out of Wichita are mostly clear. We've got like these tiny, tiny wisps of clouds in the air. When I generated the flight plan, flight conditions were clear at Rapid City, so I don't think we're going to have a problem landing unless weather develops, which can happen. And yeah, that's about it. Do we need to do anything else to get set for our climb? I don't think so. We're using flight level change right now, so my throttle position and speed are controlling our climb. I think I need to get my packs back on. So I guess I had a packs off takeoff. Nice. I think I leave this on. I think. I'm just going to leave it on. So, we're good for right now. We'll turn the star light off. And how are we doing for pressurization? Can I tell? Can't quite tell. But it's alright. Engines are in climb mode, and yeah, that's it. We're off. Frozen again. I don't know what's going on. That's just weird. Let me see. Well, I accidentally hit the record button, and then I realized it. I was like, stop. So I clicked it again, and I guess that got it unfrozen. I don't know why it's freezing today. I don't know if anything's getting in the way of my signal for Wi-Fi this afternoon, but I hope it doesn't happen again, folks. I'm sorry. I wish it was a bit more well behaved. We're not climbing that quickly, though. Let me give it more juice. Something that I'm clicking. Why is my streaming software so warm today? Man, that sucks. Yeah, that's confusing. I mean, I guess I'm a cautionary tale today, so before you guys stream tonight or this week, just double check your settings, because apparently there's something I'm doing wrong. That is weird. Super duper weird. Let me lower the volume to 7. Let's see. It's 14. It's 5. Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know what's causing it to go bananas. It's a little concerning, if I'm being honest. going to take a closer look at my screen and just make sure that I'm paying attention to the activity. It's strange. Just feel free to keep me informed, folks, if you see the screen freeze again. I'm just going to try to, I guess, troubleshoot in the air and see what's going on. But, other than that, everybody, hello, welcome. We are flying an X-Plane 12. We're flying from Wichita, Kansas to Rapid City in South Dakota. We have been flying now for probably about the past 15 to 20 minutes. I had to fix some issues when we took off, but we seem to be fairly well established on the way up to level 320. We're using flight level change mode, which is affecting our ability to climb, and not affecting it, just kind of setting the pace. Because of the power that I have, the vertical speed is changing as needed to, I guess, maintain a specific velocity. The only thing is, what am I trying to say? I don't quite know how setting speed works in this aircraft. If you want auto throttle, you could click this screw and there's a little light that indicates run it, and then you can set your speed and forget about it. But I like flying it the way, the way it's intended to be flown, which is you paying attention to the FADEC system and setting your airspeed and your altitude yourself. Okay, let's adjust that. I'm going to do it in 2 places. Any issues with the Windows update and MSFS? I might have had one problem updating the downloaded assets that I had, like the the world updates and things like that. But no, I connected to my my modem directly, so I could get the higher speed for the download. Downloaded the update on Friday. I was flying the chopper by the time I was done. I mean, not everybody has the ability to do that. Sometimes your connections will wreak havoc, or rather, the load will wreak havoc. But I was going to actually wait until later to download it, and I'm kind of glad I did, because Two-Face Disc, for example, had issues, I think, downloading it initially, or he was fine, but he was having issues with the network while I was working on Friday. So, okay. Alright, so I think I know what the problem is with my audio levels. From now on, I'm probably going to do the bulk of my adjusting on the mixer in my stream software, and then the rest of it's going to be me tweaking the volume in the sim itself. But yeah, I'm happy that Update 11 is well received, and we're not having issues yet, and Lord willing we'll have none. But is what it is right now, I guess. We've got some turbulence we're sorting through right now, and we are climbing and slowing down some more. Give me a little bit more speed, please. Yeah, that's about as much juice as we're going to get out of these engines. That's fine. We're about to hit flight level 250 anyway, so I'm not expecting really, really fast climb rate. But yeah, I'm pleased. I'm pleased with Sim Update 11. And at some point, I'm going to learn the A310. Probably not immediately. Let me test the flyby sound, folks. Stand by for some loud volume. Not bad. frozen again? It might be frozen again. A Swissair DC livery. Nice. So it does look like my system streams are freezing. So I guess I'm gonna have to occasionally keep clicking the record button. I don't know why this is freezing as much as it is. And I don't want to record stuff because I don't want to take up more space on the hard drive, especially if I can't figure out where it goes real quick. Yeah, it's a little weird. It's a little weird, folks. But welcome aboard, everybody. Glad to have you for this flight today. As you probably heard me mention on other channels, and as I mentioned just briefly before we took off, I'm officially unretired from Twitch. What does that mean? Before, I said I was semi-retired, which meant I was probably streaming, but if I wasn't, they gave me carte blanche to say, hey, I don't feel like streaming right now, miss the stream wherever I want. Now, me being back on stream does not mean that that policy has gone away per se. What it simply means is that I am cognizant of my desire to do streams and to do flights, streaming problems notwithstanding, but I am working on a way to enjoy the sim. I guess you could say enjoy the sim better. And enjoy being on Twitch better. I am not on the level of viewers as like someone like, for example, you know, Joey94 or Brad M back in the day or Delta 213. This is not a primary form of income for me. It's nice when people come by and drop, you know, quarters in my tip jar. It's nice, it makes you feel good. But at the same time, I understand not everybody that can come into my channel can come in and sub. Sometimes you just don't want to. Sometimes you don't have the money to. Sometimes there's some other stuff you have to focus on, and that's fine. If you come in and say hello, thank you for saying hello. If you come in and lurk because it's just like having me on in the background, thanks for listening to me. I appreciate your time. I am also, as many of you know, working on scenery. I recently started a project for Plymouth Municipal Airport, Kilo Papa Yankee Mike, in Plymouth, Massachusetts. I've gotten, I'd probably say about 85 to 90% of the groundwork done. I just need to put more apron textures down so I'm not looking at, you know, dirt or grass-filled parking areas because sim. And
Final approach checklist complete.
hey, nice. Studio Canuck gifting a tier 1 sub to Aerofire. Digi do a barrel roll. Well, let's see. And I even do this. The stream might freeze because I'm not looking at the thing again. But let me actually check. We've got about 1,000 to go. Actually, I don't know if I'll be able to pull it off successfully because we're just riding 200 knots at cruise, and I don't want to lose a whole bunch of altitude and or airspeed. I certainly don't want to stall the plane, and it'd probably be even worse to spin it, so that's a negative, Ghost Rider. At least not right now. But with that said, folks, I appreciate you guys coming along and saying hi and being on stream, keeping me company. Like I mentioned earlier, or like I mentioned before, I am probably going to be doing a fairly set schedule going forward. Weekends are probably going to be reserved for either flight sim flights, trucking, or something else that I feel like doing just to kind of relax for a little bit. During the week, I'm probably going to be devoted to scenery development. Expect one stream a week where I talk through some of the things that I'm doing in terms of scenery development, a kind of live developer blog. And probably one, maybe two other streams where I just do quiet development, might put some copyright-free music on, and just crank away on things like Blender work, which I have some upcoming Blender work to do for the scenery, and things of that nature. So, one flying stream and one or two developer streams during the week is what I'm expecting the pattern to be like. That's subject to change, subject to any IRL or life issues in general, but that's probably going to be the way I'm going to hack it for the near future. Depending on... Oh wait, did I go straight into... Oh, it takes me back to the flyby view from back there. What was I saying? Oh, yes. I'm probably going to shoot for developer streams either on Mondays or Wednesdays. Quiet streams I might do any weeknight during the week when I feel like streaming and I feel like folks will tune in. Right now, I would say Monday through Thursday, there's going to be a good chance that I will be streaming some form of development. Not every day, but there's going to be one stream where I'm talking and one or more streams where I'm not. Because I'm going to be, busy developing buildings and working on the things which are required to make the scenery work. In terms of flying, I'm flying X-Plane 12. Last night I flew the Flight Factor 757 for the first time in the new sim. It was a very nice experience. I'm grateful for the opportunity to have done so. And I am looking at a slightly frozen stream. That's okay. There we go. We're cruising Rapid City right now, and I'm just thinking about what the next couple of months are going to bring. Well, the next couple of months are going to be the rest of November and December. So I'm sure you, like me, if you're in the States or Canada or anywhere else where you celebrate the Christmas holiday season, I am going to be enjoying time with family and friends. I don't have that strong a schedule to say, oh, well, these are the days when I'm going to be offline. It's a thing. I expect I'm going to be taking a week off from streaming to spend time with family in December, and I'm probably going to be taking the occasional day off during the week and maybe swapping out some stream days. Like, instead of doing scenery development on a Tuesday or Thursday night, for example, I might do a flight. And instead of doing a flight on a Sunday, I might do scenery development if I'm particularly hyped up about getting close to releasing a particular airport. I also have been listening to some folks in my travels on Twitch, and travels I mean being in other people's channels, like Studio Canuck. I've heard people asking for for airports. Let me check my thing on Discord and see what airports have recently been added to my ever-expanding list. Let me go ahead and go check that out now. It is in my Scenery Projects Discord. Let me look up pins. Okay, so my airport list includes Kissimmee, which I need to work on. Actually, I should probably change Charlie Zulu Victor Lima since I finished that one for now. And yes, Plymouth, India 17, Sierra 33, Charlie Yankee Juliet, Kilo Papa Victor Charlie, and Kilo Bravo Romeo Oscar. I've also got several other airports in that list, like Kilo Victor Delta Foxtrot, Kilo Sierra Papa Golf, Kilo Bravo Echo Delta, Kilo Golf Papa Tango. Somebody asked for a version of Reno, but I know there's payware that's out there for it. And of course, Kilo Papa Hotel Lima, which is going to be my first international airport, period. Like, I consider all the other airports regionals, even if they say they're international. Once we start talking about airports like Philadelphia and, what, Orlando and, Atlanta, those are international airports. Big, big, big airports with heavy traffic. So, Philadelphia will be the first time I'd actually consider making an airport like that for the masses, if you will. That will probably put my name on the map. And I am curious to note if we're actually going to get to a point where we actually get more comfortable making airports like that. I don't know. I don't know. If I'm being very honest, it's kind of intimidating. I think the idea of making smaller airports and probably more regional airports is something that's right up my alley. But I can't ignore Philadelphia International Airport. I've done many virtual flights out of and some into that airport, and there's no payware for it in MSFS. Actually, I don't think there's any payware for it in MSFS or X-Plane. I just think that in X-Plane you have the really good port of the was that FlySimJet or whatever that was, that company that made Philly for free for FSX and P3D. Somebody ported it to X-Plane with their permission, but in MSFS or something like that. Yeah. There is somebody that made a freeware version of Philadelphia, which updates the taxiways and adds more, adds a threshold or run-up area to 27 left because it did stretch, but nobody's actually tackled it yet. And I'm kind of surprised that FSIM or FS Dream Team or whatever company, Fly Tampa, hasn't taken on Philadelphia yet. But if they don't want to, I do. It's just a question of finding the time and the capital. And that's where I wanna be in the position to be able to do it more. At least I think I do. I don't know. Making scenery is still something that is very much a part of my enjoyment of the flight sim experience. I'm not gonna lie, it's great. I like doing that. It's become such a thing now that it's like some people fly in the simulator more than they actually pay attention to other things. I scenery dev in the simulator more than I actually fly. So it's just the way I work now, so to speak. But of course, I have certainly released Whiskey 904, which is a airport for private use in Microsoft Flight Simulator. It is on Sim Market. I will give you guys the link right now. And if you want to check it out, that's fine. It's my first scenery release. And I double checked it. I do actually have it. I'm sorry, what I'm trying to say. I double checked Whiskey 904, and there weren't any additional default buildings that popped up in the scenery after the recent system update. So I'm happy about that. I'm pleased with that, seriously. Because that would have been an issue for me if it would have actually gotten to a point where it's like, oh, it broke. Then clearly I would have needed to fix it. Because it's a payware airport and I'm supposed to user base that's actually purchased the airport. I do want to update Whiskey 904 some more. I'd probably create some more custom assets, like entrance and exit gates for the main entrances, if you will, and maybe even animate them. I don't know, probably not, unless of course I really want to spend time doing that. Maybe refine the buildings that I've created, maybe even remake the hangar that I built so that it's bigger and it's still animated, but it doesn't have the kind of office setup it does. I don't know. If anybody in chat has actually purchased Whiskey 904 on Sim Market, what are your thoughts about the hangar that I created that fits a fighter jet or small aircraft into it? Do you wish that it was wider so you could fit an even bigger plane into it, or do you like the building as is? I'm not afraid to say this is the first custom asset that I made that I'm really happy with, and I know it needs a lot more work, and I don't understand all of how Blender works. So as my Blender skills improve, I'll be able to create better and better buildings and assets that are not going to tax people's PCs too much. Hopefully. That's the hope. So that's where I am right now. Let me look. I am so far out from Rapid City right now. We've got about an hour to go, easily. Now, winds are. Oh, they're coming right across, almost across my left wing. So they're out of the west-northwest. I'm sorry, they're out of the almost out of the west at 65 knots a cruise. So it's choppy up here, but it's not terrible. It's not terrible. Let me take a look at the range. Oh, yeah, I've got a ways to go. That's fine. We'll keep the rangefinder at 80 nautical miles so that once we actually get to the point where we see the airport, I'll be able to start dropping out at 32,000 feet. We're not going to be dropping that far down because we're not that close to an elevation of 0 feet. I mean, we're going to be 0 AGL when we land, but I'm saying Rapid City sits higher. It sits higher than, Newark or Detroit. Eber Worldmaster, hello, my friend. It is very good to see you as well. It's been a while. We are in X-Plane 12 today, and we are flying from Wichita, Kansas to Rapid City in South Dakota in the X-Crafts ERJ-135. It's got a pretty pleasing flyby sound. It's not, the best or the boomiest, but, I mean, these engines are what they are. It's nice to have you aboard. It's nice to share my time and my hobby with other people from around the country and around the world. And it's nice to be in X-Plane 12 and not be absolutely pushing my CPU temperatures. Although, someone actually told me, Iron Condor Simulations told me about something called Project Hydra. We have low fuel. Why do we have low fuel? Oh, I know why. Could it have something to do with the fact that I actually changed settings or whatnot? Show me fuel, please. Where's my thing? That's weird. Well, I'm gonna have to break immersion because I need my fuel. I did set it up before, but resetting it, I think, was what made it go nuts. So let's pretend we have like about maybe 9,700 pounds of fuel. And there we go. So double check, we're better. All good, we're fine. The DC-3 Major 1 trip, DC-6 from PMDG. PMDG's kind of been making some game-changing moves with regards to aircraft and stuff in the sim. Yeah, I think that was the first payware aircraft they released, DC-6, because I think the 737 came a little bit after that. I have the 737-600, which is basically their value study level aircraft. And honestly, it's a great plane to fly. It's nimble, it's fun. You can hand fly it, and even though it doesn't have a cargo variant, it doesn't have winglets. I'm happy with it. For about $40, you get an aircraft that models a lot. So I'm good with that. Yes, yes. So the DC-6 was the first they released. Yeah. Is anybody else as semi-shocked as I am that we're looking at the middle of November already? There was a time when I was kind of kidding with myself, like, Digi, you're listening to Christmas music already? And now we're kind of barreling in on what many people kind of call the starting gate for the Christmas season. I mean, I listen to Christmas music almost year round, but I really start going nuts with it when fall hits because it's just like, man, it's coming up, it happens really quickly. And then I think for the past 5, maybe even 6 years straight, every time I hit the holiday season, it's like, man, I just want to enjoy this Christmas. I want to really appreciate it. And then before you know it, it's like the 18th of January, and you're like, wait, did we celebrate Christmas? I mean, some folks don't. Hey, if you celebrate Hanukkah, all good, shalom. But my remark basically is that it just flies so fast. For me, it does anyway. The speed was acting really strange for you on the 737-800. That's a little weird. Canuck, if you're in chat, can you weigh in on any inconsistencies you've had with the 738 lately? I haven't updated my 736 in a while, so I might want to, but the last time I flew it, I was okay. Of course, I am waiting for someone to bring the 757 to MSFS, and as far as I understand, there are multiple players in the ring now. There's supposedly a group of people working on a freeware 757 release. Well, not supposedly, I think it's the same team I was following for a while. And then Just Flight and Bluebird are working on a payware 757, and, if I'm not mistaken, PMDG could port the 757 over. The problem with PMDG 757 is that it's stuck at the back of the line behind the 777 and I think the 747. I don't know which one's going to come first, but they're going to be bringing aircraft in. Okay, there we go. Yes, you were flying a 737 last night, so, boom. I don't know. How sensitive is an update to an individual user's PC? I guess it depends on what they're trying to accomplish or what they're doing, but what would we say? Or yeah, I guess it depends on each person's setup. Oh, yes. Because VNAV might start getting too ambitious, or you might have an approach that's too strong, and then you're basically going to drop and just go. So, if it's having trouble scrubbing off speed, then that's one thing you can check. But if you're just sitting at like 500 feet per minute, and you're thrust idle, and you're not losing speed, then I would mark that as suspect. Typical 738 behavior. Well, I guess if you're flying a very big or something close to a heavy, your momentum is going to get in your way when you're trying to scrub speed. So, that's my opinion, I guess. Where are we right now? Mablin, thanks for the 20 bits. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. MSFS has been having online connection issues all day. Yikes. I hope that's not the case all over, but if you're saying it's because it's the truth. So I wonder why. That seems weird. Also, I'm really happy because I didn't have pressurization issues so far. And Lord willing, I'll have none. I didn't have pressurization issues climbing. I guess all those times when I flew the plane somewhere and I had difficulty with cabin pressure, it was because I didn't set my maximum altitude. That's kind of like the cruise altitude of the 737s. I don't know. Okay, okay. I have had connectivity issues in the past myself. It it could just be the norm. It could be maybe a random bit of server maintenance that took place that is just how it works. But I guess it is what it is right now, especially with as many people flying the sim now that we have the 40th anniversary edition out. Well, I mean, I think it's two things. It could be a number of things. It could simply be, for one, that so many people are flying the sim now that they have to get used to a new norm of server access. And remember, we're streaming the ortho that we fly over. If we went totally offline, you could probably configure AI generated weather or make your own weather, but you'd be flying over synthetic scenery, like FSX level scenery. So you're streaming scenery, you're sharing multiplayer, you're flying with other people online. You're, I guess you're sending or you're getting updated weather information, because I just use the weather generation of the sim. I don't care. I don't need active sky or Rex any kind of weather kind of thing. There's a lot of transmission going back and forth. So big ups to Microsoft for having the muscle to pull all that off. I'm pleased. If I knew that I was going to be flying as slowly as I was right now, true airspeed right now we're 382, I might have picked some other plane. Might have even picked the 757. But if I fly it, it's probably something that I'm going to do off stream, because the 757 requires a fairly chunky commitment. Maybe I'll fly it in a future stream in X-Plane 12, but I'm kind of taking it slow. Also, this brings up a point. I think we talked about this before, but I just feel like saying it. For me, while the future is going to involve other aircraft, like I might even find myself buying a PMDG 777. I said it. At some point, I like aircraft experiences that challenge me without requiring like too much crazy, supreme, tighten this bolt 5 inches to the left, otherwise your whole engine system's going to go offline. Aeroflyer's like, what? Well, I'm not going to lie. I see people flying the triple in P3D or in any other sim, and I'm like, man, those engines sound so amazing. Now, on the flip side of that, apparently if you fly on a 777 in the real world and you're next to those engines, that sound could probably get quite annoying. But us sim pilots, man, we like our heavy iron, and the 777 has that in spades. Also, now that I'm fairly established in X-Plane 12, maybe I'll buy the Airbus A350 and see what flying a heavy plane like that is like. But I don't know, there's something about that aircraft in general that I like a lot. And also, that reminds me, I downloaded the Project 76 767, the one they're developing right now, that doesn't have everything modeled just yet. Flying that plane is interesting. When you get it right, it's rewarding. It's great. Oh, Canuck, come on now. Between you and me, I know when that thing drops, you're going to be getting it. And I probably will too, but I know you will be picking up the triple. Once you do that, I don't see a reason why you're not going to be doing like Vancouver to Frisco flights on the channel, or at least Seattle to Frisco flights in a triple, or at a bare minimum, San Francisco to San Diego. That's my opinion, of course. Day one. That's it. That's it. He's fully invested. If I have the funds, if I genuinely have the funds, and I can pick buying a plane in one sim, and if I see a triple, I might buy it. I think the only reason why I'm hesitating is, of course, because I want to get back into flying business jets some more. I know we have the CJ4, and honestly, to be honest with you, I haven't been doing my homework because the didn't Working Title release a more realistic pack for the Longitude? They did. Somebody did, which means there's more system modeling now in the Longitude than there was before. It's a big plane too, so I like big biz jets. Yeah, lots of 777 flying for sure. Of course there will be. Stream speak. Oh, the Longitude is working on it. Okay. Yeah. So, like, the Longitude is a very nice looking business jet. A little bit light in systems modeling in terms of the default model, but again, if I can get my hands on a working title update or something like that, then I'll be happy with it. Yeah. I'm really pleased to see how far the sim's coming along with people kind of like chipping in or really actually adding to the enjoyment of it, like Working Title. I mean, Working Title was its own independent studio for a while before they got bought out by Musfuss and by Microsoft, and now it's like, wow, you know, we have Working Title systems that are being added to the sim, which are really helping to bring along the quality of the game as a whole. And honestly, as I keep working on airports, I think I'm going to focus more on just regional and bizjet flying, because I liked doing that a lot in FSX back when I had the Coronado Phantom 100 and the Premier 391A. Those were nice planes to fly in the sim, and I liked, you know, being able to fly into and out of big and small airports, like for example, Bar Harbor in Maine, and Block Island in by Rhode Island. They're interesting airports to fly into, and some of them can only handle certain kinds of aircraft. So, yeah, that's a thing. I can't tell why, but when I am looking at my stream software and I'm not looking at the sim does not, the feed tends not to freeze. To think back to the FSX days and imagine the sim would have never occurred. It's come so far and going so much further. It's amazing to think that we have the amount of dedication, commitment, and technology being pumped into flight simming as a whole that we were only literally dreaming about in like the late 90s and early 00s. I mean, I can tell you from personal experience, when I got my hands on Microsoft Flight Simulator 98, and I started flying that on my then, basically Intel computer, it was transformative. I had been flying Flight Simulator 5.1 beforehand, and when I got my hands on the first 3D graphics accelerator card that I had and pumped it in, and my frame rates shot up, and the visual quality improved, that was nuts. It was just like a new thing happened, and it was the same thing like with going from FSX and X-Plane to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Pavlin, we are in the ERJ 135 and we're flying from Wichita to Rapid City. Oh, no worries, Aeroflyer, we'll be here. Lord willing. But welcome aboard, everybody. We are continuing on our way to Rapid City. We're flying in a bit of a slow burn today, but that's okay. We are in the X-Crafts Embraer ERJ 135. We are roughly about halfway to Rapid City at this point, and once we see Rapid City at the top, or once we start seeing more waypoints, I'm probably going to begin our descent, because I am assuming we'll probably need to drop no more than, say, 24,000 feet, which means it's going to be a roughly 80 nautical mile descent. If we overshoot it a little bit, we can extend some kind of downwind and then turn to get set up with the ILS to land at the airport. And if I was going to be flying to default airports today, I reasoned default airports in X-Plane look better than default airports in MSFS. Sorry, that's just the way it is. Because of one simple thing. X-Plane airports are user-sourced through the gateway system. Now, I think that the X-Plane team has probably built some themselves, but the X-Plane gateway service in place where you can submit your own airport to be included in current and future iterations of the sim, which uses default assets and is accessible to anyone that has the base sim. So, yeah. Pay for ads, and your last upload went crazy, reached 3.4 thousand views and a dislike. I wonder if somebody disliked the video because they didn't understand something about it. But hey, I'm not gonna lie. When I put content out there and somebody comes along and doesn't like it or doesn't appreciate it, it's something that you have to process or think about, if only for a few moments. But it's a thing. Like I'm not going to say that it's not something that I think about. Anybody doing content creation that's served to the community and receives comments from people, you run the risk of having people that don't appreciate what you do. Now, at the same time, sometimes it takes a while for your community to show up. I can tell you, at the beginning, I barely had 1 or 2 views of my stream. And I'm assuming when you look at people's VODs, it counts views as people that showed up either during the stream or watching it later. I remember my videos would barely get like 1, 2, 5 views, and they would be there for a while. And I'm grateful for the friendships that I've made over the past 4+ years at this point, because it's just, what can I say? It's kind of like this organic growth that happened. Yes, sometimes we want to make lots of money off our stuff, if we're selling things, or if we're trying to, get to a certain point, persistence and determination and passion, those are very powerful things. But community and people that have your back, it's valuable. It's genuine. Pavlin, I gotta say this again. I am privileged to have you as a member of my community, to have you as a member of flight simming in general. I appreciate your content. I need to go watch more of it. Folks, if you don't already know, Pavlin has a Twitch page, but also he has a YouTube page as well, with a good chunk of current and or legacy content, which you would, whatever you call P3D. If you'll pardon my categorization, Pavlin, I categorize anything before P3D V5 as legacy, so like 4 point something. But I do like me a good P3D landing or takeoff video, especially landing videos. If we're talking about heavy aircraft like a 777, a 787, if we're talking about a complex approach with a 737, I like seeing that kind of stuff from the community. I mean, that's who I am. Maybe I'm a weirdo for saying that, but I like those sims. I like a whole bunch of sims. I don't really have a specific favorite. I know MSFS does some things very well. I know X-Plane does some things very well. I know P3D is just a powerhouse in certain respects. Even Studio Canuck flew P3D for a while and got a setup working so nicely, had it tweaked and set, and then eventually when he made the jump to MSFS, it was like the dawning of a new age in terms of him flying and streaming. And when the PMDG 737 came out for MSFS, I mean, that was game over. So, 2.5 years. 2.5 years. And it's been this kind of wild ride. It's pretty cool. It's nice to have people come alongside that share your interests, but getting to know people and then getting to see what makes them tick in terms of what they're pursuing, what they're doing, and coming alongside and encouraging them. It's a privilege to be around you all. It is a genuine privilege. I want to treat my community with respect, with courtesy, with appreciation. If none of you were here, I would be on my microphone talking to myself. And yes, I think to an extent, most of us talk to ourselves whether we want to admit it or not. But carrying on a conversation with a physical or invisible camera, if you will, and trying to have this kind of context for building community on a platform like Twitch, it's hard to do. It is hard to talk into a camera when you do not have people watching. How do I know this? Because I was there. I was there when I had barely 1 or 2 people on channel watching me. It's taken me about 4 years to get to this point, period. And some people are able to traverse this period very quickly, and I congratulate them. I think, essentially, I'm over any kind of attention paid to follow counts or view counts. I'm just looking at chat to see if someone's talking, if someone's saying hello. Otherwise, there's certain things I can talk about, certain things I can put out there. Now that I'm a scenery developer, I can probably use the stream as a dev blog, because I obviously have done that while building scenery. So there's ways that I can take advantage of the opportunity and the platform. If you are somebody that's debating the idea of streaming on a platform and you feel intimidated by that, I think the only question you really need to ask yourself is your not streaming going to be something you're going to regret later? Like, I was back and forth on the idea of actually creating a payware to sell online. I'd made scenery before. Even earlier this year, I released 3 freeware airports on flightsim.tm. Higginsville, which is KHIG, Warrensburg, Skyhaven, which is ARCM, and Edmonton Villeneuve Airport, which is Charlie Zulu Victor Lima. And I was like, well, maybe I could make it Payware Airport. And I bounced back and forth, and I thought about it while I was building the airport, and I was like, let me go ahead and put it up there. And now I do not have to wonder what would have happened if I actually sold an airport, because I know I'm actually selling a Payware Airport online, and I'm on my way to, I think, making a second one with Plymouth Municipal. Well, that's great. If that works for you, Air Emmerich, that's fantastic. I'm glad that your journey is producing very good results. Congratulations to you. And I sincerely hope that you have even more and more success. Because I feel as a community, we improve when we encourage and we lift each other up. That's my process. That's how I feel about flight simming in general. Now, as some of you know or may not know, I am a born-again Christian. I believe in having Jesus Christ as the Lord and Savior of our lives, in control of my life, and guiding me into eternal existence with Him. Not everybody believes the same that I do. Some don't want to believe that way, and I have nothing but respect and love for you. I'm glad you stopped by today to spend some time with me, and I appreciate you as an individual and hope that you have a great, great day and great rest of your week as we stare down the slide into Monday through Friday, which at least is how I deal with things. But I try not to think of one day more important than another, although in general I like to feel like the busier my Monday is, the better, because then I can kind of knock that separation out from the weekend and then transition to Tuesday, and then Wednesday comes real fast, and then by the time you get to Thursday and Friday, you're like already transitioning quickly to what you want to do or what you're trying to do. I mean, I don't know if anybody else feels the same way I do, but I try to load up the beginning of my week, or if I'm not doing that deliberately, I try to just stay focused during the beginning of the week, and then get to a point where it's like, okay, now we're looking at say Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I don't want to work for the weekend, but I don't want to, what's the phrase? I want to work through each day appreciating it for what it is, and not because I just want to get through this week. Like, some weeks are challenging. I'll give you that. I had that happen to me over the past several months, or at least a couple of them. But finding the right way to tackle those days is important. For me, it's a personal belief in God through Jesus Christ. A lot of other people have their own choices for what they want to do. And while I want everybody to be a Christian like I am, I appreciate having you here, regardless of who you are, where you come from, and what you believe. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I really appreciate it. We are approaching the 114 nautical mile mark. Our current ground speed, or at least true airspeed. Where do we have that? Can I see that? There we go. Ground speed is 363 knots. Kinda slow, but not horrible. Like, this wind could be way worse. So I'm glad it's not a 100 knot headwind. So it's just a crosswind kicking us off that we have to keep pointing a certain way to traverse the path. But it is what it is. Here's a question. Am I going to start doing more general aviation flying on this channel? I've chewed the fat on that for a bit. I think the answer is yes. I think I'm going to start looking at GA aircraft, whether they're business jets, or I'm flying something like a Cessna 414, or a Cessna Skyhawk, or something which allows me to appreciate scenery. If I do more GA flying, it's probably going to be on MSFS because the scenery will obviously be tuned to a better VFR experience there. But like I told Iron Condor earlier today, X-Plane 12 as a whole is generating this experience where ortho, while it is appreciated, is not something I felt super compelled to get. And I feel like the graphics changes that they've made and the improvements to rendering engines have created a better experience for me. Personally, everybody is different. I don't know how you X-plane or fly a sim, so I don't know whether your focus is more on having the scenery be as detailed as possible, or the frame rate be as smooth as possible. It's up to you, and it's going to look different to you versus looking different to somebody else. But usually for me, any sim I'm flying, I'm usually trying to keep the gauges over as far to the right as I can without sacrificing a significant amount of playability. Of course, the dream is always to have scenery settings be maxed out and still get 60 frames per second, and some people can achieve that with the right horsepower, but you would be surprised how powerful a system can be and still not achieve the ideal, either because of a lot of autogen, or a lot of scenery, or a lot of other things running on a person's computer. We're at the point now where a dual streaming setup is becoming more of a topic of debate than an utter necessity. I've been doing single PC streaming since my early days, much to my frame rate demise in FSX when I was using a Surface Pro. But the point remains, I've done single streaming setups for a long time. And yes, I have paid the price for it more often than not. But actually, not more often than not. I have paid the price for it occasionally. But in general, it's saved me from having to, power on another computer, somehow pipe the streaming connection through there to my PC, and just figuring out things to do that way. I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm grateful for my journey, and it's cool that I haven't had to go to a dual PC setup. Maybe in the future I will. I don't know. Yes, I would be willing to believe there are benefits to both setups. The obvious benefit to a dual PC setup is if your stream PC goes down, but your sim is still flying, once you bring the stream back up, you're not going to lose your flight. And if your sim PC goes down when the stream goes down, then you'll be in a place where it's like, sim crashed, or the sim PC actually shut off. I'm going to go ahead and fix the problem while I talk to you. So I can certainly see the benefit of a dual PC setup. If there's a way that I can do that more easily in the future, then maybe I will. There is a much older tower that I have that I'm not using that I might gut and turn into a budget stream capture rig. Because I can't imagine how little do you think you can spend on a tower, just a CPU, like a PC tower, and use it for streaming? Because I'd probably challenge myself, maybe buy a 2060 Super, a motherboard capable of running a Ryzen 5, or maybe even a Ryzen 3, with a proper cooling and overclocking setup. So a spare tower, a new motherboard, the proper CPU and RAM and graphics card. Yeah, Yeah, I'm thinking if I put my mind to it, I could probably make a streaming setup on a secondary PC and maybe only spend, what, 300, $400? I mean, those numbers might be realistic in this day and age. Probably no more than 400 to 500 bucks for a separate PC. And that would probably include all the necessary stuff. Yeah, a capture card, of course, the operating system. So the operating system probably would be just over 500 bucks if I used Windows. But the only inconsistency, the only concern I might have might be since I can't update my current PC to Windows 11 and I buy one that is Windows 11, I might have to think about how that works. We probably have a few years to think about that, so I'm not worried. And on the map, believe it or not, we are now within distance of Rapid City. Actually, less than 70 nautical miles. We're dropping to 68 nautical miles to Rapid City. So let's go ahead and turn the seatbelt sign back on. And let's get our altitude set down to what? Let me find out. For Rapid City, for the ILS 32 approach, I said we need to be at 5,000 feet. So we've got to dump 27,000 feet. We should have started already, but let's go ahead and get started with our descent now. So I'm actually kind of glad that we're doing that now because I'm going to... Wait, where does the vertical speed get set? Here? Yes. How fast are we going? We're going like 370. So a little bit less than 400 knots. I think 2,000 feet per minute should be enough. So drop it back down 2,000 feet per minute. Got some clouds to my right. Wow. And we're going to overshoot the airport. Actually, that's interesting. Are we coming straight in? I can't tell. Let's see. Oh, wait. No, that's the was it the entry point? Let me get rid of that discontinuity. Yeah, that's interesting. We're coming straight down. Alright. So we'll go full idle. That's interesting. I might pick your brain about that some more, Canuck, when we have the time. I'm going to increase my descent to probably about 2,800 feet per minute if the plane will allow it. Because if we can make the ILS, we would literally come straight in from our flight plan into the airport. And that would be a nice way to get to Rapid City. But we'll see. Oops, wrong button. That looks cool. Not bad, Chad. Not bad at all. This plane looks great with XP-12. Okay, so we're dropping at 2,800 feet per minute. Our ground speed is 346 knots and dropping. So I can probably increase my vertical descent a little bit more. I'm not going to go faster than 3,000 feet per minute. Because 4,000 is basically an emergency descent. Cabin altitude is high. Maybe I can decrease my rate of descent. I think I need to, I guess I need to lower this. Let's take it down to 20,000 feet. And it should automatically depressurize itself. Otherwise, we'll have to wait for a while to depressurize the cabin. There you go. Pretty good point, Pavlin. If the sim isn't working for you, then don't feel like you have to go somewhere you don't want to go. So we went from basically wondering if and when we were going to arrive at Rapid City to now being on a very sporty descent down to Kilo Romeo Alpha Papa. It is somewhere down there, probably way off in the distance even. At least I think it is. I do feel like that's one thing X-Plane 12 got right. I think the atmospheric effects on the sim look so good now. Like, that was one of the reasons why I liked using X Enviro so much back in X-Plane 11. It made things look pretty realistic. Okay, this is 80 nautical miles. Let's get the rangefinder down to 40. Yep. So, what's our altitude right now? Oh, great. I thought we were still like around 20,000 feet. We might actually make this, chat. At 2,800 feet per minute, we're dropping fast. Okay, friend, we'll take it down. I think after this flight, we're gonna get set for a raid, and I will probably be happily passing you guys off to one of our streaming friends out there. And probably later tonight, I will be doing scenery work before the week kicks off. We are below transition altitude now, so I think it's probably best for me to get my landing data again. Last time I checked, it was 29905. But let's also check online. METAR's results. Kilo Romeo Alpha Papa winds 360 at 23, gusts 33. Real life weather is the altimeter of 29907, but it is clear. So, let's go ahead and set that. 29907 will keep our 200-foot decision height, and we're transitioning through the altitudes, the fuzzy altitudes I like to call them, where things basically flash a lot. Again, folks, thanks so much for stopping by tonight and for keeping me company during this flight. I am starting to like flying an X-Plane 12 more and more, and I'd like to see what happens. I'd like to see if it's possible to develop scenery for XP12. I am waiting for an update to World Editor to do that. Air Amarik, you know, I'm glad to have you here. It's a privilege to be around you guys. Even with the graphical hiccups, I still like the sim. It's so nice. And this is default scenery. This feels like basically I'm flying over Orbac's land class scenery. Because essentially it's what it is. It's not Orbac's land class, but I'm saying it's basically, you know, computed. You see what you see IRL. Not because it's ortho, but because the representations of things are where they're supposed to be. So if we're going to lose 5,000 feet, probably descend. Take our time descending. And the current airspeed is 278. We can probably relax this now to about 1,600, 1,500 per minute. There we go. Hey, Aeroflyer. That reminds me. I don't have the Jet Suite livery anymore. I'm gonna have to get it again. So you just reminded me to actually stick that back on the Jet Suite X livery. You just reminded me about that. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we are beneath 10,000 feet. Let's get those landings on. Okay, and that should be it. Do we have the airport in sight? We do. It's right here. That's amazing. We're actually going a bit slower than I'd like to, though. Let's keep the speed up. And we're going to go back to takeoff to 10 for engines, just in case we need that. And are we close enough to the airport to activate our instrument landing system? I think so. All right, how do we do this? Let's do nav, and let's go approach mode. Approach mode is armed. We are turning into the ILS beam, or I guess the calculated beam. This is fantastic. Yeah, I have the Phantom 100 and P3D with the Jet Suite livery on it. It's fantastic. Okay, so we're going down to 5,000 feet. And then I guess what's going to happen is we're going to stay at 5,000 until we intercept the glide slope, and then keep descending. Alright folks, make sure your seat belts are fastened, your tray tables stowed, and large electronic devices put away. We are not that far away from arriving into Rapid City. I'm curious to see how default scenery handled this. Oh, hold on. Hoping that unsticks it. There we go. Let's also bring the sound back up. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into why I had so many stream freezes today. Oh yeah, Aeroflyer. I would have to agree.
High speed.
Let's get the gear down.
High speed.
Gear is down, and we are following the beam down to the ground. Let's get flaps 9. Next, stop flaps. Idle. It's bit nutty out there. I don't think it's my rudder pedals. I think it's just the winds. Not seeing anything again. That's just weird. Really, really weird. It could be. It could be. I might have to update it. Don't worry, folks. I'm going to do my best to get a replay for you when we arrive. All right, some more flaps, please. If the stream freezes again, I'm probably going to make sure that I take a look at it again this week. Okay, I think we have like full flaps now, and we're super slow. All right, 500 autopilot off.
Autopilot. Autopilot.
Good enough for right now. Oh, come on, stream. Man, I'm sorry, guys. That sucks.
Minimums.
Continuing.
$150. 10.
Oof. And down. Reverse screen. Speed brakes up. I wonder why. Oh, that's why. That's what I forgot. The thrust reversers have to be work with the actual other joystick quadrant. Stand by, guys. Let me go ahead and unfreeze it again. We will be doing a replay. I'm gonna have to figure out why this is causing me so much trouble. It really wasn't acting up before. It's just annoying. Not to worry, Pavlov. We will definitely get the landing queued up for you. I'm gonna pull up to a gate. I won't even shut anything down. We'll go straight to replay mode, and we'll give you guys. Oh, well, if the replay freezes, that won't be an issue because I won't be piloting the plane, and then essentially I'll be able to just keep it on that screen where it's not mucking up. But give me a bit. Yeah, I don't even care about my lights being on right now. I just want to get the plane parked. Okay. So, good enough. How did I park? Not bad, actually. Not bad. Okay, good. Alright, sit tight, folks. Let me do a replay. I'll get this queued up, and then I can try to unfreeze the stream. I can't figure out why I shouldn't have to be recording to get the stream to work. It's just super weird. It really is super weird. So it'll take you guys to about
Autopilot. Autopilot.
4,000 feet, I would say. And that's about here. Alright, so I'll set it up so you guys can see it from the cockpit first. And I should be able to keep it here the whole time. The ERJ is a nice looking plane. I like flying it. On its looks alone, it still is a nice plane to fly. Okay, now hopefully this should not freeze, so make sure this stays on for you folks.
$500.
For a completely default airport, it looks great. We came in below the glide slope, but we got it fixed. Then I think we just went along. I didn't want to mess with the rudder pedals too
100.
much because then it would be supremely wobbly.
50. 10.
And then it pulled up a lot, and it wasn't enough for the flare. I like how it sounds when you touch down in this plane. And it pulled off right here. So not bad, honestly. If I did it the right way, I probably would have been a lot slower coming up to this exit point. Alright, so it's going to freeze a little bit, but we're going to set up the next camera view. We'll do a on-the-runway flyby, so to speak. Like right here will probably be great. And I will pull it way back for about like maybe 30 seconds. Alright, here we are. Yeah, I mean, as long as the plane is serviceable, as long as we don't have issues with it, anything up to, I think, probably even a 300 in this aircraft is probably just fine. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Like, rate is comfort, but position and touchdown point is essential. Okay, I didn't zoom in to see the plane come in because I didn't want the screen to freeze for you guys. Here we go, though. Duck. Or get out of the way. And then plunk. And that was lovely. Okay, rewind. And we'll do one last view from the passenger side, which probably could go even further back. Let's see, right there should be good. MG 737. So I told you I was the guy from missing touchdown, KSFO, and everyone exited on time. If you landed and exited quickly and did it well, then I think the touchdown point speaks for itself. It's what it's designed to do. Oh wow, look at that. And then plunk. On the first possible taxiway. This plane's on auto throttle? No. The ERJ-135 does not have an auto throttle at all. X-Crafts includes one for you as a cheat if you want one. Good firm landing. Yeah. Oh, no worries, DW. Glad to have you here. Welcome aboard. We just finished our flight. We took off from Wichita, Kansas, and I think we did actually spend about an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes in the air flying to Rapid City in South Dakota. This is a regional aircraft, a ERJ-135 from Embraer, one of my favorite planes to fly, although it can be a bit of a handful, especially with the issues with X-Plane 12. Aeroflyer, I will take that as a compliment. Thank you. Pavlin, God bless you. Take care. Looking forward to hearing news about you getting back into making more videos. Appreciate having you with the community. Thank you so much, my friend. God bless you. We took off from Wichita, Kansas. Kansas City is closer to like the northeastern tip of Kansas, unless I'm wrong. And essentially we flew northwest. Yeah. Okay, so let me go ahead and turn off replay mode, and we can probably shut down the plane. Let me do that real quick. The screen might freeze. I apologize. We're getting this taken care of really quick. So, all the lights can come off. We can turn on the APU because, you know what? I don't think we need the APU. Just get the ground power hooked up. That's it. Okay. Thank you. We have ground power, GPU, and there we go. Cut the fuel. Cut the electric pumps. And that's it, everybody. We are down. And we have arrived. Can we get a jetway? Oh, look at that. Yarp. That's what I'm talking about. Were you able to do that before in X-Plane 11? No, you were not able to do that before in X-Plane 11. That's why I like this sim. Thank you. Let's open the door, open the luggage door, and that is it. Welcome to Rapid City. Population me right now. No, it's a pretty big city. Trust. Also, while we're here, let me see if I can upgrade the anti-aliasing quality of the graphics. It might crash the sim. It's okay. Take anisotropic filtering to 16. No, change nothing. And we'll take it all the way to 8x MSAA. Nope, that changed nothing. If that's the case, then fine. Leave it at 2x and forget about it. It'll be jaggy. Alright, take care, Aaron Regret. Glad you came. Good to have you in chat. We are down in Rapid City now. This is Rapid City International. The air... Yeah, sorry, Asobo. X-Plane basically makes a better default airport. It's just the way it is. Alright, folks, sit tight. Don't go anywhere. We're going to set up a raid real fast. We'll see who's actually available. Standby 1. Oh yeah, this looks wonderful. Compared to the default Rapid City in MSFS, there's more buildings here, and I feel like it looks nicer. But hold on. Had to grab my cat. He was getting into something. But there we go. That's the stream. Let's see who we can raid right now. We've got 757 Spy. It's almost 5 o'clock, so Sim Caesar is actually warming up for his flights. Nomad Aviator, Fly Lilo, Flight Sim Stream, and FNL Aviator. I think we're going to go ahead and say hello to my friend Sim Caesar. Let's set up the raid, folks. Thank you again so much for sticking around today. I'm going to go ahead and raid Sim Caesar. We can say hello, and then I can slip into the rest of the evening. Until next time, everybody, like I like to say, as always, if you want true peace, you need to know the Prince of Peace, Jesus Christ. My friends, it's been a privilege. Take care, folks. Have a great rest of your day, evening, or morning. And until next time, bye-bye.